a cop decides to body slam a black male, his own dog, the K-9, turns against the police. Here it is.
You want to go? He can bite me. Well, he asked him. What he do? He ain't do that. He ain't. Oh my God! He biting him. He biting his ass.
Put up the picture full mass. The K-9 is considered to be a unit officer. The reason it is considered to be a unit officer is because it has gone through training. It is trained to primarily do one thing and one thing well: identify the aggressor, the one committing the criminal act. The K-9 unit is first seen with dog by his side yelling at the young adults in a parking as he used the German Shepherd to disperse the revelers. At one point, he appears to be arresting a young woman in a bikini. A young man tries to peacefully intervene, but the cop body slams that young man to the ground, even though he held his hands up. Now, I have issues with animals being utilized in law enforcement, period. I think it is a bad practice. But you cannot negate the irony of this situation. This dog is loyal. The K-9 is loyal to that officer in that unit. That officer or those officers feed that domesticated animal. The officers provide care for that domesticated animal. However, when it came down to it, you have to understand the context of this. I've been saying on Indisputable since day one, when a cop arrests another cop while the cop is engaged in the criminal activity in front of them, we would have arrived. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a different version of that. The K-9 cop is the first cop in history to literally attempt to arrest a cop while the cop is in commission of said act. Let's get to it. Daily Mail reports. It wasn't the only incident where cops were using dogs to tame spring break crowds. These are children in Panama City. Video captured police unleashing at least one dog on its town's beach after major gun bust turned up 75 illegal guns. Dozens of partygoers were seen on the video hurriedly running from the approaching K-9. The crowd is angered, screaming at the officer and insisting the young man he tackled, quote, didn't do anything. And obviously the K-9 agreed. The chaos seemed to confuse the K-9, who turned and bit his cop handler. Let the K-9 speak for himself. I think his actions were quite clear, okay? Quote, oh my God, he's biting him, one of the onlookers exclaimed. He's biting his ass, end quote. I want you to see the look on this cop's face in this particular still, okay? Look at the other cop. Neither one of them are looking at the black male anymore. Social media was quick to defend the K-9, quote, cop needs to be fired. Fur baby cop deserves a treat, wrote one commenter on IG. Good boy. Another quote, now that's a well-trained dog. And the dog is the real one, protecting and serving. If this goes like normal, the dog will be investigated and trumped up charges will soon come. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
Well, Dr. Richey, in the words of an illustrious poet, DMX, where my jobs at? Finally, we see some police retribution. We see the blue shield go down, the blue wall go down. And who does it? Of course, our K-9 friends. Now, a lot of dogs have been subjugated to racist practices and have been accomplices in this. In this, we see a police dog doing the right thing when the police officer is doing wrong. That is training. And that is exactly why I say, while we always talk about defund the police, the reason we feel that is because of actions of police officers like that. Let's refund the police. Let's retrain them. Let's retrain them the same way we train these dogs. Let's train them on their actions and their acts, and also on how they carry themselves. Clearly, there was no clear and present danger in that moment, and yet this police officer decided to be the big bad bully. And you know who stopped him? A real police officer doing good work in the field, stopping him, biting his ass, and I'm all there for it.
Yeah, I mean, they rode together.
Yeah.
Okay.